Using AI to generate marketing content for your business can be an absolute game changer. And if what I just said triggers you because it sounds exactly like it was written by an AI copywriter, I feel your pain, and it's why I want to show you SuperCopy, a new lifetime deal at AppSumo that promises to solve all of the conventional problems of using something like your off-the-shelf ChatGPT account as your official business copywriter. Now, SuperCopy available for as low as $49 one-time payment. And the nice thing here is if you want to collaborate, no Teams account needed. You know, those ChatGPT business accounts, the Claude Teams accounts, they could be hundreds of dollars per month. With this tool, you could grab tier 4, get lifetime access for 10 users, and still be just a couple of months worth of your Claude Teams account. Now, really, the trickiest thing about using an LLM as your copywriter is getting the training data correct. When you have a business, the business itself has a voice. And the business sells to an audience, and that audience is a select demographic, right? We want to write copy that sounds authentic to our brand, and we want it to resonate with our ideal audience. To do that, we have to supply quite a bit of training data in order for an LLM to get there, to make it sound authentic. And you certainly could do this on your own. It's just going to take a lot of time. What SuperCopy has done is develop this persona system, which is really efficient and very effective. Now, in my account here, I already have 2 brands added in. They're just local businesses here, and it's very easy to add a new persona. All you do is go up to Discover New Personas and then choose Brand Finder. There's also a direct link right over here in the toolkit. And if I visit this, I can simply enter in a URL, and it's going to go scrape that website and create an entire persona that trains the LLM that's baked into SuperCopy in order to be knowledgeable about that brand. It will write in the same voice that your website does. Like, for example, here is a residential painting service. I'm going to grab their URL. I'll paste it into SuperCopy, hit create, and in just a few moments, I'm going to have a persona that is now ready to create content about this brand. Here it is. I didn't do anything. It just scraped the website and created this persona for me. I could edit it if I wanted to, maybe make some tweaks, some changes here or there, but basically it hits the nail on the head. Everything here looks great. It even brings in an image to help represent the brand as I'm creating content, makes it really easy to navigate the website and know what brand I'm working on. By the way, if you want to use SuperCopy for your client work, you might want to get tier 3 or tier 4, which is going to give you 10 or 20 brand personas. Now, we're going to continue training the AI on our brand here in a moment, but first, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, AppSumo. AppSumo is where you can get SuperCopy as well as tons of other tools to help grow your online business. I've been using AppSumo for more than 10 years now. They're in their 15th year of business, and it is the first place I go when I need software for my business. Thanks to AppSumo for sponsoring today's video. Check out the link in the description if you want to grab SuperCopy or anything else over at AppSumo. All right, I've saved my persona and now I've got 3 brands in my account. I could continue to add more brands by either going through that same process or even just filling out a brand persona manually. If I don't have a website and I want to do this myself, I could definitely do it that way. But like I said before, there's more to copywriting than just being familiar with your brand. You also have to know who you're writing to. And most brands address their marketing materials to separate audiences. Like one message might go to one group and another message might go to an entirely different audience. And this is where SuperCopy really shines in my book because we can create multiple audiences for the same brand. Let me show you how it works. It's very similar to what we just did. Rather than choosing Brand Finder, I'm going to go to the Audience Finder. There's also that link down here in the toolkit right below the Brand Finder. Here, I'll just choose one of my personas. So I've got those 3 brands that I've added in before. Here's the one we just added, Pro Painters. I'm going to click Discover. It's going to go ahead and research Pro Painters, decide what types of customers might be interested in working with Pro Painters, research them, and you'll see in a second here, it's going to give us a full breakdown of who they are, what they want, what their problems are, and so that when we go and actually use the LLM to create the marketing content, it's going to be targeted to a particular audience. This is also a good time to point out one of the flaws with SuperCopy in that it's not the speediest tool around. It just populated everything here, but if you're used to the high-end LLMs, this will be just a little bit slower. You'll really see it as we do some of the other features here in a moment where it tends to slow down. But as it is, we've got our personas here, 3 different personas: a residential homeowner, a commercial property manager, and a real estate investor flipper. I think those are great personas for a painting company, right? You can see how you might do different marketing copy to each one of these personas. So I'm gonna go ahead and just save all 3 of them. I'll just check each one, and now they are saved. I could go ahead and click load more to generate more personas. Now, truth be told, every time I do that, I do get an error. So this tool does still have some flaws, some things that need to be worked out, but hypothetically, we could just run this again, hit discover up here and generate some more personas, but I'm really fine with 3 for now. So let's proceed from here. So back on the personas screen here, I do have all brands and I can sort by my pro painters. Now you'll notice after you generate your audiences, it's going to be blank. You do need to reload this screen. And then if you go back, now you'll see your audiences. Another little glitch. It seems like it needs to refresh the cache or something. It's not checking that properly right now, but as it is, here we go. This is looking pretty good. There is one further step you can take, which is to add in your products or services, and then the AI will be able to utilize that as it actually creates the copy. So now we're knowing a lot about the brand, we're knowing a lot about the audiences, and we can even enter in our specific products. My complaint here with the products is that there's no easy way to have it, say, scrape your e-commerce store and bring them all into SuperCopy. That would be an amazing feature, and it would make making an email campaign about a specific product that you sell super easy. Hopefully they add that in, but it's not there now. Instead, what you have to do is click over here where it says new persona and then add in a product persona and just fill out this brief little form here to save the persona. I've already done this with some of the other brands, so I'm not going to do it here, but I can show you what one looks like. Let's go ahead and open up Datello's Pizza here. I just did a deep dish pizza and you can see it's just a product. And if I hit edit, it's got a brief little description. Nothing too exciting. But certainly lots of possibilities to bring in product images, scrape websites. This could really be improved to be super powerful. All right, so at this point, the AI inside of SuperCopy is trained on our brand as well as our audience. So now we can begin creating copy. That's what we are here to do in the first place, right? There's actually 3 different ways we can do it inside of the tool. First of all is templates. This is the most familiar scenario, and it's actually fairly usable here. So there's about 45 different templates for posting on different social media networks, for doing different types of promotions, YouTube video descriptions, job descriptions. Really, there's a lot of templates over here. We can also search the template from the left-hand sidebar at any point, and they even have some templates pinned to the left-hand sidebar. Little note, I would love to have this be customizable. So let's say I use the short blog template a lot. It'd be nice to be able to pin this here and have it stick to the left-hand sidebar, but that's not a feature that exists right now. Let's go ahead and try this out. I'm gonna go ahead and create a Facebook post. So I'm gonna hit use template. I can choose one of our brands. I can go with the Pro Painters here, or you know what I'm gonna do is actually the Hardwood Flooring Company. And I'm doing that because we've got a product persona. So here I've created a product for hardwood floors. It is hardwood floor installation. And then I'm gonna choose an audience, which is a family-focused home buyer. And now I can write my goal. So my goal is to get people to schedule a free in-home consult for hardwood floor installation, right? I'm gonna do a Facebook post for that. This could take me a lot of time, right? I could sit there and try to write it by hand, or I can just let the AI handle it and do it completely on voice, using the brand voice that we generated with a persona. Create a post to invite people to schedule an in-home consultation to add new hardwood floor to their house. There are some advanced settings down here. If I wanted to include specific keywords, I can do that. I can also turn off emojis. That's what I'd like to do. And there's a little slider here to decide whether it's more or less creative. I'll just kind of stick this somewhere in the middle and we'll choose generate draft. My draft is going to show up over here to the right when it's done. I've got an easy copy button. So we'll see what this looks like very shortly. Like I mentioned, generating the content goes a lot slower than you're probably used to if you're using using something like ChatGPT Plus, and it usually just starts coming out right away. Here we do have a little bit of a waiting period. All right, there we go. It certainly wasn't bad. It was like 10 seconds and it all comes out at once, so you don't see it writing. But there it is. I've got a few different posts here. Looks like 3, 4, 5 different posts that I can go ahead and check and see which one fits best with my brand, modify it however I see fit, and we're good to go. We do have some options. I can copy the response, I can favorite the response, I can add it to a folder, share it directly, or have AI try to rewrite it. Now I went ahead and I favorited this response here, and I'm gonna go down and add this one to a folder. I can add in a folder. I'll just say Facebook posts, and then hit save. Notably, I can also nest folders inside of folders. So if you want to get hyper organized here, maybe you've got your different clients have their own folders and then subfolders, you can definitely do that. All right, I've saved both of those posts, one favorited, one over inside of a folder. And we can see those, they live over here in the content section. So I've got my Facebook posts folder that I just made. And I've also got my favorites. If I click on that, I can see the Facebook post that I just favorited. So some nice organizational settings here to make sure that any of your generations are easy to access in the future. So that's generating content via a template. And that's going to be really great if you don't want to think a lot about prompting. You just know that you need some Facebook posts and you say, hey, go ahead and make some Facebook posts, and boom, they're done. However, if you want to be a little bit more specific, or you consider yourself a bit of a prompt engineer, well, you might want to head over to SuperChat. No, that's not the thing where they tip you on the streaming. This is basically like ChatGPT, but trained on your brand persona. So I can choose which brand I want to work with here. Let's go back to Pro Painters, and I'll choose an audience, and then I can just tell it to do some type of marketing task. In fact, it even gives me some AI prompts at the top if I want to start with one of those, or I can just speak in plain language and ask it to do whatever I think is important. So I said, create 5 Facebook posts to get in-home consults for repainting walls. All right, we'll go ahead and submit this. I didn't even really worry about my grammar here. It's not very well written. Of course, if I spent more time and did better prompting, I would get better results, but I should still end up with 5 pretty usable Facebook posts here with very minimal effort. All right, there we go. We've got all of our posts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They look pretty good. Now I don't have all of the little features like don't use emojis, so it used a ton of emojis. I also can't heart or favorite an individual post because now we're just inside of a chat, and I can save the entire chat, but there's no way to pull them out like when I was using the templates. So SuperChat and templates both have a purpose. They are very different. I could see using them in different use cases, but hopefully it's clear on which one you should use when. The last way we can generate copy is called a campaign. And a campaign is going to be generating multiple pieces of content around a singular topic that can actually be distributed through multiple networks. Or, you could post on Facebook and email and do paid traffic. It can do all of that with a single prompt. The way this works is you click new campaign, and if you've got a brief, something from a client, just upload that and it's going to go ahead and take care of it. You can even have it create new personas from the brief. So that's a little bit of a workaround. If you don't have a website, you can use that as a way to create your persona. But we can do things with the personas we already have added as well. So for example, here, if I went to, how about the hardwood flooring company, and I chose one of the audiences like a family-focused home buyer, and then I can choose which marketing channels I'd like to distribute to. You can see they've got some examples here: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, email. In fact, those sound good. I'll just enter that in. And then we've also got context for the campaign. What is it that we are trying to promote? So I just said $1 per square foot installation fees through February. A pretty great promotion. Let's go ahead and generate the outline. So this is a 3-step process, right? We've got our brief that we just created in the last step. Then it's going to go ahead and generate an outline that essentially gives us different ideas for types of content that it's going to create. And I can edit there. I can remove some of them. And once I'm good with the outline it creates, well, then it'll do the individual posts. And it's going to give me emails and Instagram posts and Twitter posts and Facebook posts, everything that I mentioned in my brief. It's going to create that all in one go. So here is my outline. You can see like this one, I don't really like. Oh, this is the campaign title. So it says Timberwolf Family Safe Floors, $1 per square foot install through February. And then I can go through and figure out which ones I want to keep, which ones I want to change. Let's say this one doesn't look good. I can just remove it. I can edit this, change any of the prompting. When things look good, I'll just hit generate content. It's going to go through and it's going to write all of that content for me and save it into a campaign. Now, it's important that you only generate the content that is actually useful to you. So spend time in that outline, because our accounts do have a character limit or tokens per month. So you don't want to generate content that you have no intention of ever using. You can see for 49 bucks, you're going to get 15,000 tokens per month. If you go all the way up to tier 4, it's going to give you 500,000 tokens. That's pretty generous. All right, my campaign is already ready. Now, I mentioned the slowness earlier, and that was in my testing. Throughout this review, when I'm actually filming the video, it's been generating things a lot quicker. So perhaps they were experiencing a slowdown over the last few days. Right now, fairly impressed. I've got my campaign fully created. You can see there's basically like a little project management built in, a very little project management, but there's statuses for each post. I can decide whether it's new, in progress, approved, so on and so forth. I can also click on it to open it up and see the actual post. So this is a Facebook post. It's indicating I should add in slides and images and things like that. I can also use AI to further refine this post, ask for particular edits, anything that you might normally do with feedback inside of AI, you can do that right here. Now, if it's not a good fit, of course, I can click on the triple dots and just remove the content right away. Otherwise, just some glanceable info here. You can see what medium it's meant for, what channel it's going to go to, Facebook, Twitter. You can see when it was created and when it was last edited. And then when you visit your campaigns page here, you'll be able to see all of the campaigns that have been created. You can also sort those by brand. So if you're working with clients, you can find just the campaigns that you want to see in one glance. I want to mention that when you add additional team members, that's going to be in your settings, you can choose which brands they are invited to collaborate on. So if I add a member here, it's going to go ahead and send them an invitation, but then I can choose which brands they have permission to actually view. Things are a little bit out of order in this process. They should really ask you which brands have permission before you send the invite, but as long as you remember to do it right after you send the invite, it should be fine. And by the way, it's not just English. This tool does work with a variety of languages. It's not like 300 languages. It's probably closer to 25 or so. You can see them as I scroll through here. So if you're trying to create content for another language, definitely check over on the AppSumo page to make sure it supports the language that you need. Now, it's not just about copy with SuperCopy. There's also AI image generation baked in. It's okay, to be frank. It's not amazing image generation, but it's all right. We can see what it looks like here. So I'm under media and then go to AI generated media. In fact, let's just make a brand new image over here with the AI image generator. Choose a brand, choose an audience, add in a description, a beautifully painted, fresh, clean office. The painters are still cleaning up with their paint cans on the ground, and the sunlight is coming in through a big open window. All right, so I've got my prompt. I'm gonna go ahead and hit create, and it's gonna generate this image for me. It only creates one image, and like I said before, it's a little bit slow to do this. So just, be patient, and we should have a custom generated image here in a moment. All right, there we go. I've got my image. I can download it here. Of course, it's also going to be saved for me in the media section. So if I were to return to the media library, choose my AI generated media, and if I search for my brand, here is my image. Now, I did create another image. Let me show you this one for Detello's Pizza and Pasta. This one looks good at first glance, and then if you give it the second look, the real detailed AI look, you'll notice, oh, the hands don't look quite right. There's some extra fingers going on there. And also, it seems like when they pick up this slice of pizza, there's more pizza underneath. So this is definitely not like a top of the line image generation model, but it's okay. Now, there's not only AI generated media, there's also brand suggested media. And this is not going to be AI generated at all, in fact. Instead, it's doing essentially like a stock photography search for you based on keywords that it might know about your business. It does take a moment to generate here. So there we go. As I click through, I can see some hardwood floor options for me in terms of stock media. Now, if I click on any of it, I will get the credits here. So like this one comes from Unsplash, and I can download the image. So this is fine. This is nice. It's a little extra thing to have built in. The main thing is definitely the copywriting. So that is SuperCopy. There's a few other tools here baked in, some nice little AI writing tools like expanders and simplifiers. But essentially what you're coming here for is to get that knowledge base created for you in the form of personas, and then to utilize their AI to generate the marketing assets. Overall, a very smooth, easy experience. Now, is this going to absolutely change your world? Well, maybe. It could save you a ton of time and definitely save you a lot of money if you're currently currently paying for Claude Teams, but I don't believe it is the creme de la creme in terms of LLMs right now. So if you've got unlimited budget, maybe SuperCopy is not for you. For the rest of us, a one-time fee of less than $500, I think it is a worthy investment. I'm gonna go ahead and give SuperCopy a 6.9 out of 10. That's gonna do it for this video. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the like button. It really does help out the channel. Of course, I've got my link for SuperCopy down below, and hit me up in the comments if you have any questions. My name is Dave. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back soon with another video.